Okay guys, so welcome back to our video series, and we are going to proceed further with the new topic HTML tables. So what are tables? Just like tables is a very good way. Tables are structured sets of data made up of rows and columns, and it's a very good way to represent data when it comes to let's say you are having a lot of data and you want to see it in a very discrete, in a very arranged manner. For that you're gonna use the tables. So early usage, in earlier times, the tables were used to create the page layouts. Nowadays the tables are only used to create whenever there is an actual table. So we are not creating the complete page layout with the help of table. Then we will gonna see how to create a table. For that you need to know what all tags, what all elements have to be used. Here is the list. Guys, the first one we have on the list is the table tag. The table tag is the first tag which you are going to start with your table. So whenever you declare a table tag, that means you are creating a table. Then TD stands for table data. Whenever you are going to add some data in your table, for that you are going to use TD. For TR stands for table row. That means whenever you are want to add some rows in your table, you are going to use TR. TH stands for table heading. That means when you want to add some heading in your let's say row or a column, for that you're going to use TH. Then comes T elements: T head, T body, and T foot. Guys, T head comes with T body and T foot. It's not that you can use only one. You have to use all three altogether: T head, T body, and T foot. So if we look the anatomy of a table, we have the headings of a table, we have the data elements, that is the body, and we have the the captions, or the the last elements, or any reviews or something, total, summation, etc., etc. For that, that will be the T foot. So when you are going to use T head and TH, you can use like both of them. It's completely fine. The difference between T head and TH is that TH is an inline block element and T head is a block level element. That means in a particular, let's say, column or a particular column, you want to give some headings. So for that you're going to use T head, since it's a block level, because it gives the heading to a group of elements, whereas TH is an inline block element. Now what does this mean? That means in a particular, like to a particular cell in a table, you want to give heading, you are going to use th. Okay, moving on. Caption is used to give the caption, or basically a title of what is your table about. Call group is basically used to do styling. Guys, styling can be done with CSS, but like here we are discussing only the plain HTML, so we are not going into that styling stuffs. So we'll see how to style with the call group. So now I'm going to move on with to the MDN Docs website. This is the MDN Docs, MDN web docs. So what is a table? You can see the definition of table. Table is a structured set of data made of rows and columns. So here it's giving when should you not use tables. You can just read it out. And okay, so let's take the example of a basic table, which is this one. The way the name of the person and the age is written, we have four persons and four ages. So let's say if we want to create a basic table, so how we're gonna do? So we'll move on to the VS Code folder, VS Code portal. This is the VS Code portal. I have the boilerplate code in front of me. So let's start. So we're gonna start with the table tag. Here is the table tag. Then first we'll add the headings of the table. So headings we use the th elements. First we'll add the row tr. Then first row will have the headings. So th. First headings, let's say it is names. Cool. Next headings will be age. Okay, so first row is done. Okay, next row, we'll open the next row. We have the data elements. Let's say the first name is Chris. I'm taking for example, and age will be, let's say, 34. Then we'll have next row. In that again, let's say the name is Stewart. I'm just like giving random names. So yeah, TD. Next, let's say the age is 12. Then one more row. Let's say the name is Paul, and sorry, I forgot to add the TD element in this. Then the age of the ball will be, let's say, 12. Okay, so okay, let's add one more row. So TR, then table data, let's say it is man, and let's say the age is 23 32. Okay, then we're gonna add some attributes also. The basic table is created. Okay, so let's say if you want to bring your table to the center, you can use a center tag. I want my table to come into the center so that it looks clean. Anyways, like you can bring table to the center with the help of CSS also. But like center tag is a very old tag. You can see it's why it's red, because like it's a very old tag. It's not commonly used here. But like we are running plain HTML, so we're using that. Then guys, you need to remember there are some attributes for table. Let's say you want to add some borders to your table, so for that you need to use border attribute. Let's say border, you want to add 2 pixel. 2 is the value, pixel is the unit. So pixel percent whatever you can use, but here I'm using the pixel one. So let's say how it looks like. So we will press Ctrl F5. This is how the table is looking like. You can see the borders have given the 2 pixel. You can make it more bold. So names and age are written with bold because they are the headings, and the names Chris, Stewart, Paul, Man with their ages. So this is basically what a basic table looks like. Okay, so that is how we created a basic table. Then moving on further, we have some attributes that we need to look for. So the first attribute, we're going to see how we can span multiple rows and columns. Let's say there are 2 rows or 2 columns, you want to combine them. So there are 2 attributes for that. That is row span and call span. Here it is, the call span and the row span. So if you want, let's say you want to club 2 data elements in a row together, you're going to use row span. And let's say you want to club 2 elements in a column, you're going to use the call span. The syntax for this is that since it's an attribute, so call span is equal to in the commas we have the value. Let's say you want to span 2 columns, so you will place 2 like this. Okay, so that is how 2 attributes are there, row span and call span. Then how to style. So like I told you, the styling can be done with the help of CSS, but here we are running the plain HTML. So there are 2 ways to style table. Either you can use without call attribute. So for that you need to use the style attribute. I'll tell you how it is. We're going back to VS Code folder, and let's say I want to style my table. So in the table itself, I'll use the style attribute. So first we need to add the background color. Let's say background color will be aqua. So now we'll again press Ctrl F5, and so you can see the background color is now aqua, turned aqua. If you want to turn background color of only particular column, you can turn that too. We're gonna see how we're gonna do that. You can also attach style to a particular element. Let's say you want to style only a particular cell. You can apply, like you can make a rainbow also, like it will look colorful. Like each element will have its own style attribute with the background color, and accordingly you can do that. Next, we'll see styling with call attribute. For that, you need to use the call group tag which we discussed in our PDF. The syntax for that is here. You need to know the syntax: table, call group, call, call, style attribute, background color yellow. Then we're going to close it. Then you can have your table as usual. And let's say you want to again, span attribute can be used here. Let's say if you want to apply color to a column only up to two columns, so you will add some span is equal to 2. So what will you do, it will apply color to only two cells in the column. So this is a project you can work for the school time. So basic things were like this. For a table to create, you should know the basic tags of how we are creating it. Next we're going to move on to some semantic elements. So what are semantic elements? So guys, semantic elements, from the word we can say semantic means like whose meaning is clear. Let's say you want to create a table, and for that you are using the tag table tag. So you want to create a table and you are clear that you have to use the table tag. That is what a semantic element is. The semantic element tells itself what you are going to do. So we're gonna see some common semantic elements. There are roughly 100, but you're gonna see the common ones. First one was the table, which I already showed you. Next we're gonna see the article. Okay. Article element represents a self-contained composition in a document, application or site, which is intended to be independently distributable or reusable. Let's say you want to discuss some particular information. Let's say it's may it be a weather forecast, or maybe like some stocks data, or some rupees, like which currency is going up and down, or any data you want to display it. So for that you can use the article. The tag syntax for that is written here. Article, you need to have the headings also. In the article, headings are important. Again, the article class is equal to forecast. Class is created so that while styling with CSS, we will be accessing this article element with this forecast ID. So we are not going into deep. Just remember, article tagging has to be used. Okay, guys, this is important. The usage notes, you need to see the usage notes. How we gonna use each article should be identified typically by including a heading. As I told you, heading is important. So you can just go through these usage notes for creating an article. Then these are the examples for that. So what I'll do is I'll just like quickly copy it and I will just paste it to my editor, and I'll show you how you are going to do that, how it will look like. Okay, so copy, move on to this here, paste it, and then check. So this is how it's looking like. Jurassic Park review, Dino's Plate, and all, like headings are in bold. So basically, if you style with CSS, it can go to the right, and you can like add some special columns to that too. Okay, just quickly moving forward. The next tag we have is the aside tag. Aside represents, like by the name only, it is aside. So any information you don't want to display in your main document, that you can display inside the aside element. So here is the syntax for that. Basically, it's a aside tag, and any paragraph you want to write, you can just write. And no more usage notes. Do not use the aside element to tag synthesized text, as a kind of text is considered part of the main flow. Here is an example. It's a basic thing. It's just like a side tag with a paragraph in this. Moving on further, we have the details. Now details is something you need to look. Let's say you can see this button right here, details. The moment I click it, there is something which is displayed. That is how detail works. Details creates a disclosure widget in which information is visible only when we uh, click it to open. So here I clicked it, then it opened, right? So for that, how you're going to use it, you are going to use the details tag, and there is some one more tag, that is summary. Summary is used to display whatever is visible here. Let's say you want to make something open it or click me, like kind of things you want to display. So you are going to write in between summary. Okay, then you have, then whatever information it contains, that can be written in a paragraph or whatever you like. So this is how the details works. Now moving on to the next one, which is figure caption. Figure caption is basically, let's say if you are having an image and you want to add some caption to that, or anything, any yeah, sentence to that basically. So you are going to use the figure caption. Figure caption comes from figure caption, like that. So figure tag, then the image tag, we are adding the source of the image, all it is there. Then after that fig caption is there, like that. Moving on to the next one, that is the figure. Figure element represents self-contained content, potentially with an optional caption which is specified using fig caption element. So let's say if you want to like with the help of figure element, you can basically figure element is the one which you are gonna use to add a particular image, and if you want to further add a caption to that, for that you are using a fig caption. And for all these things has to be done inside figure. It's not that randomly you are adding image and without, let's say you are adding image and without any figure tag and you are adding the fig caption, so it won't work in that way. If you're it has to be inside figure. Moving on to the next one, we have the footer and the header. Now HTML5 gives us the the you can say the capability to write the header of a tag. Let's say there is a website and you want to add something on the header. Let's say it can be a nav bar or it can be an introduction of about the author or logo, search forum, whatever. For that you are going to use the header tag. You can provide links. You can do like you can even have logos in that. This is what header element is. Header element, you can have like, this is the basic syntax of how it looks like. There are some usage notes how we are going to use it. Attributes. Similarly is the footer. Footer is the one which in which you are displaying the the let's say your website ends, so in the end you are going to display the copyrights and the locations, maybe, or maybe other sites, or maybe some maybe forms or any data, maybe like address, links, etc, etc, that is done in the footer element. Okay, moving on to the next one very quickly, we have the main. Main is something your let's say you want to, let's say there is a website and you want to write the main content in that. So like a website can be divided into very subparts, like there can be something in the top, that is the header, then there is something in between heading, then there is a main document where you are writing everything, then in the left and right you may have some aside or article something, then in the bottom it is footer. So when you are writing the main content, it has to be written inside the main. That is what they are trying to tell here. Then comes the mark element. Let's say if you want to highlight something like this, so you can write any word inside that mark tag. It's as simple as that. Next one, we have the nav. Let's say you want to create some nav bar types or maybe some links or something, you are going to use the nav. Basically the nav bar can also be created with the help of lists, and the second way is using this nav element. The nav represents a section of a page whose purpose is to provide navigation links, so same as the nav bar. So you can see how the syntax is. You can see the usage notes. You can see the some examples of how we are going to use it. Moving on to the next one, guys, we have the section tag. The section element represents a generic standalone section of a document which doesn't have a more specific semantic element to represent it. Let's say there is a particular section you want to target in your document that has a standalone importance. For that you are going to use the section tag. This is the usage notes for that. You can like pause the video and watch the usage notes of that. This is the syntax. Moving on to the next one, guys, we have the summary. Summary is nothing but, like I told you about the details tag. In details tag you have to write something in the menu, right? For that you need to, you have to use this summary tag. Moving on to the last one, let's say if you want to add some time in your data, so that will be highlighted like this. So we can do this with the help of time tag. Just you need to add time, date time is equal to this. Like time, it has an attribute date time. You need to note down, guys. Time attribute is date time is equal to whatever time you want to display. Then close the tag, write the time, and close the time tag like this. You have the attributes, you have the usage notes like this. So guys, these were some semantic elements that we looked into. So thank you.